So we made a change to our business that has already impacted how we are converting more buyers into deals, or more leads into clients is really more like what it really is. So the reason I'm sharing this video with you is that we have made this change with all of the pending changes that are coming to this industry. And this is something that is working in our business already before these changes even happen. So there's three major things that I've noticed as a change for the agents that have bought into this process. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Christian Stubbs. I'm a team leader owner here of Onyx Homes, or a real estate sales team in Southern California that is on pace to do about 200 transactions this year. So let's dive right in. So there's three major things that I'm seeing here. And the reality is this is something that is getting our clients or leads excited to do buyer's consultations, or as we call them, buyer's strategy sessions. So the three different things are pretty straightforward. Number one is I'm noticing the agents that are bought into this process are winning the business more often. So just by implementing this process into their sales process is that our agents are actually winning over the business more often. Now, number two is that our agents that are winning the business more often, they're also weeding out and spending less time with the leads that would never do business with them anyway. Number three is the agents that are doing this are making a higher than average fee on their deals, meaning they're making more money with better qualified people and they're winning the business more often, right? So not only are they doing more deals, they're making more money per deal, which I did a video on not too long ago. But this is the biggest thing, is I'm gonna share exactly what we're doing and how you can implement this into your business as well too. And I'm not sure about you, but in this business, or really a lot of businesses, there is just a constant, everybody's talking about add value, add value, add value. And the reality is I think a lot of people don't really understand what that means. Now let's put this into context as we're talking about a buyer here. Do you feel like the buyer finds it, or a buyer that you're working with, do you feel that they find it valuable when you send them properties that are listed through the MLS or through your home search website? Hopefully you have your own. No, I mean, they have Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, 2,000 other websites to look at all these properties already. So do they find it valuable going to private tours with you? No, to be honest, open houses are easier for the consumer, and just coordinating your schedule, their schedule for private tours is a little bit of a pain. So sending homes for sale, and if private tours isn't like the value, then what really is it? And here's the reality is we have found there's three major things that home buyers find very, very, very valuable through the entire home buying process, or at least our clients have. So number one, first and foremost, is they want to know what other buyers are doing to be successful. That was number one. Number two is they want to know how in the world they're going to stay protected. And really what that means is how to make sure they don't lose their money and, or worse, get into some sort of lawsuit or something like that, or make a horrible mistake. So number one was they want to know what other buyers are doing to be successful in the market. Number two, they want to be protected from losing their money, from being sued, from whatever. And then number three is they want to get the best deal possible. Now, number three is what most people have at the front of their mind, but there's a lot of other people that their underlying concerns are uncovered in what are other people doing, but also they're not wanting to lose their money. So those are the three things we're finding. And frankly, we built our entire sales process around this exact same 3 points. So we deliver this in what we call this our buyer strategy session. A lot of people in the industry call it a buyer's consultation. Frankly, it doesn't matter what you call it. The reality is this is something that we have done for the last several years that has increased our conversion ratio. And now we're bolting on buyer agreements onto the back of this, which is leading to those three things we talked about earlier. Now, here is the big thing that I don't hear very many people talking about in the industry, is that this change to how agency is going to work, especially on the buyer side, is gonna make it to where one buyer's agent does not make the same as another buyer's agent. Buyer's agents are gonna get what they're able to negotiate their fee for. And if they're not able to provide value for a higher fee, well, they're just not gonna make a higher fee. So here is the reality is we have made our buyer process the almost exact same as our seller process. And like I mentioned, we're winning the business more often and making higher fees. But with buyers, a lot of agents don't want to work with buyers because they feel like they're getting drugged around or chased around or chasing buyers. I hear that all the time from agents. And when you implement this process, you're going to be filtering out people that do not want to work with you. And then you're going to be adding a tremendous amount of value to somebody that either does or does not want to work with you. And then people that do want to work with you, you're going to make an agreement on a fee and you're going to sign an agreement to work together so that you're not chasing around, running around with buyers. You're doing deals with clients that want your help and you're making a fee for that. So this is something I've always found very interesting in this business. Now, here's the hard part, is the buyer strategy session, at least the one that we do with our clients, takes at least 45 minutes to go through. And this isn't, what are you looking for? Let's set up your MLS. Okay, let's go look at tours. This is a very deep dive on the actual process of buying property. And we really uncover the major three things. We talk about what our other clients are doing to be successful in the market. We are talking about how we keep them protected through the entire process, and we're talking about how we get them the best deal possible. It's also in all the content that I make that's buyer facing to consumers, as I talk about those three major things because that's what most people find most interested. And the reality is, it's like a minimum of 45 minutes. I've done hundreds of these consultations with consumers. Very, very rarely takes me 45 minutes. Now, if I sat here with you and we did the consultation, it would take me 45 minutes just to go through all the content, making sure you don't have any questions. But the reality is, a lot of our consumers have a ton of questions. Now they're realizing while they're in this consultation just how much they didn't know about the process, which raises our value, makes our service more valuable, and we're doing all of this ahead of time before we even ask for a commitment for them to work with us. And a lot of other agents have this the other way around, is I imagine there's gonna be a lot of agents that are gonna say, hey, you gotta sign my agreement and then I'll add value to you. Like that agent's gonna have a hard time in my opinion. So usually when buyers ask their normal amount of questions, when I do these consultations, when agents on my team do these consultations, it's usually an hour-and-a-half consult. And that, like, the reality is, if that sounds like work, not only just do one, but to get good at doing it and to practice it and to know the scripts, to know the slides, yes, that is work, absolutely. So yes, it is a ton of work, but also remember that through this process, you are going to give yourself a higher likelihood of actually winning the business. That's number one. Number two is you're going to be weeding out people who do not want to work with you. If somebody does not want a consultation, they know everything, they don't want your help, probably not going to pay you a fee anyway, or at least not a very high one. And then for the people that do want that high level of premium service, they're gonna pay higher fees. Just like when somebody lists their property and wants luxury experience, they want a proper way of listing their property, they're probably gonna pay more for that than if they go to a discount broker that's a flat fee MLS only, right? It's the same concept with buyers. And this all leads to getting buyer agreements signed, which we're doing now. We're getting signed at higher than average fees. Also, it's because we have shown that we're adding value. We're not just telling them that we're gonna add value. We're telling them that we're so wonderful or we're number one or anything. We don't talk about that at all. We actually walk them through the buying process and cover those three major things talked about earlier. And it does, it takes a ton of work to get good at this. Anytime you're practicing and trying to nail and master a 45-minute consultation, it's gonna take a lot of time. You're gonna have to put a lot of reps in. I tell a lot of agents on our team, you need to practice 5 to 10 times minimum before you're even able to go through that. And if that means you have to do 10 hours of training in the first 2 weeks of just learning this new process, that might be what it takes. So if you're interested in this at all, I am sharing the entire training that my team has access to, that we have brand new agents getting buyer agreements signed within the first 2 or 3 weeks in the business. We also have 2 other trainings as well too, but in the buyer strategy session training, I named it Turning Leads into Clients with a Buyer Strategy Session. There's a few things inside. One, there's a 75-page doc that has the entire script for the entire strategy session. There's also 38 slides. You can copy them if you want. There's 20 pro tips in there of me going through hundreds of these and then watching agents do hundreds of these. There's also a 2-hour training video of me walking through the entire thing, giving the script, and taking a step out and explaining everything. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I have this all linked in our school community that is start to finish in real estate. So if you want to check that out, you can go to onyxhomes.com/school, drop your information, we'll send you over to the school community. It's totally free, you can join it. Inside there, you also have the sales process, which is once you've set an appointment, how do you get to the strategy session? So getting your clients excited to actually sign up and do a strategy session. And then before that, we have the closer framework, which is a sales-based framework that is gonna have you learning question-based selling so you can set more appointments, so you can set more strategy sessions, so you can get more agreements signed, make more money, and have a better real estate business. I'm not saying this is the best thing in the world, but this is something that works very, very well for our team. We have experienced agents that are locking this in their business and getting agreements signed left and right. We have brand new agents to the business getting these signed as well too. So again, I hope you found this valuable. If you did, like the video, subscribe, share it with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one.